So, Johnny,
Hi, guys.
we just got back from the theaters seeing the Amazing Digital Circus finale. What'd you think?
I loved it. There were times in the showing that I was trying not to cry.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. By the way, welcome to Saturday. Yeah, so we just got back from Digital Circus. First things first, I'm going in with the perspective of I did get spoiled. I think both of us got spoiled.
Yeah, but there were still like certain parts of like the spoilers that kept certain things vague. There was one aspect from it that I knew about, which...
Well, let me set the stage first. So, first off, massive spoilers to Digital Circus Episode 9. I think we're not going to go, like, super deep into plot threads, but we are going to spoil things. So, if you're someone who doesn't want to be spoiled, don't watch. Wait until it either comes out on YouTube or go watch it yourself in theaters. I recommend seeing it in theaters if you can, because our theater experience was great.
I agree.
Let's start with that, actually. Yes. What did you feel about the theater experience?
Oh, man, just everything sounded freaking amazing. And I think the biggest plus, not just that, was and again, this is a very... to your experience, to your moment being there, our crowd was just so freaking amazing.
Yeah.
There were so many awesome kids there, some cosplaying as the characters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was a family that everyone in the family was cosplaying. It was
one
super
was
cute.
Kinger, Ragatha, and Kane.
Yeah, it was super cute. I feel like it wasn't like a super young crowd. I think the youngest people there, it was probably like half teenagers, half adults.
Yeah.
But I definitely think the youngest were like teenagers. Everyone was super respectful.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I expected it to be like Minecraft movie levels of bad. But especially with the outcry pertaining to the leaks. I was expecting the crowd to kind of ruin it. No, quite the opposite. I feel like
so heartfelt.
I think the crowd amplified the experience for me.
I agree. It was like just how it should have been.
Yeah. It was a very positive experience just from the crowd. Everyone loved it. There was like just nothing but positivity. I mentioned it on the car ride home. I wish Gooseworks could have seen the crowd that we had. Because, like, it really showed that there's a lot of people who just really like this show.
Yes.
You know, the negative outpour online is very much just a very vocal minority.
Yeah, and I feel sorry, honestly, for Gooseworks, because there were certain things in this showing that kind of hinted that possibly this Amazing Digital Circus could have kept going. Yeah,
there were definitely, like, little tidbits during the credits that kind of showed the world changing in a way that was like, wow, they really could have done more with this. But this is my personal theory, I think they chose not to purely because of the negative outpour on the internet.
And I agree with that sentiment, especially with some of the things Gooseworks said about like their closing statements on the matter, that they don't want to touch the series, and I don't disrespect them for making that choice.
No, I fully respect it, and it's really sad. It's really sad to see something so, creative be ruined just because, the fans are so toxic. But that's as it happens.
Yeah, that's what happens. It just sucks. Words from Zubul. It just sucks.
So, now that we've gotten into all of that, so yeah, I want to go into the rest of the actual episode, now that we've kind of talked about some of the littler things, because, yeah.
Of course, we should probably mention, sorry, the first half is episode 8, so probably, if you want, rewatch 1 through 7, or just 1 through 8.
Well, I guess that's the first, exclusive part. I don't know if this is just the theatrical telling or not, but at least in the theatrical release, they did a recap of episodes 1 through 7.
Yeah, they did a recap. So
the 1.5 hour screening.
Yeah.
was like 5 minutes of the
Recapping.
Zach Hadelfish
Yeah.
being like, "Hey guys, thanks for watching in theaters. Please don't spoil it." I just was laughing because I'm like, "Oh hey, it's Zach Hadel. I like him. He's the Smiling Friends Oni plays guy." And then they did a recap of episodes 1 through 7, and then they played episode 8, and then it was episode 9.
Yeah, just to kind of keep everyone kind of in the loop and kind of make it all flow better, is how I see it as.
Which I didn't expect, and at the time in the theater, I was kind of like, alright, can we get this over with? But then I thought about it as I was thinking that and realized, oh wait, there's a lot of parents of kids who are fans, and the parents probably don't know, so they can get caught up on it. That wasn't like, okay, that makes more sense. But going into actual episode 9 stuff, I really want to preface, I'm going to talk about this from the perspective of I was spoiled through Reddit posts talking about the leaked episode. I never watched the episode leaked, like the leaked part of it.
I didn't either. I watched I listened to I read. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I read too.
Yeah, I just read like Reddit posts and 4chan posts. Unfortunately, I went on 4chan.
Unfortunately.
Oh my god, I was bombarded. Oh, do you think Reddit's bad? 4chan's worse.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, all I'm going to say is the criticisms, and I'm only going to focus on the criticisms towards the writing of the final episode. People getting angry at Gooseworks, people getting angry at Glitch, people getting angry about that shit. I don't care. I care about the writing critiques that people were saying about the final episode. And the one thing that people said was, oh, Jax didn't get enough attention. I disagree.
The whole segment of Pomni going to abstracted Jax isn't enough screen time for him, and not enough closure for the character.
Well, congratulations, you just spoiled the massive plot point. I know we're at spoiler territory now, but I kind of wanted to ease into that. If that's the big kicker. Yeah. Jax abstracts, which thematically that makes complete sense.
Yes.
And the one thing that people were saying was, oh, I don't like the fact that Jax abstracts off screen, which is true. Basically what happens is, the beginning of episode 9 is everyone's like, holy shit, the world's destroyed, what do we do? Everyone kind of freaks out, goes their separate ways for a little bit, cuts to black, next scene, an abstraction is running around, and you learn through context clues that was Jax.
Yeah.
Jax abstracts off screen, and that was a massive criticism I saw online, was people were like, why didn't we get to see him abstract off screen? And that was probably the only criticism that I saw, that I thought, you know what, that makes sense.
Here's another little thing, because I believe it was I think it was 6. He almost abstracts too. By some extent, we still see kind of the process of what happens to somebody when they start abstracting. Oh
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, his little psychedelic trip.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because when Pomni goes inside, she sees that same trip.
That is true. Yeah. So, context going forward a bit. Pomni helps Kinger try to rebuild the circus now that Kane's not there. And she helps rebuild everyone else, and once everyone else's confidence is back up, then she tries to take care of Jax by herself, and she ends up going inside the abstraction, and that's basically the majority of the episode. The majority is her inside the abstraction, her learning about Jax. So the whole criticism of, oh, they don't give Jax enough attention, they don't go into it enough. I don't understand. Were we watching the same episode?
I'm starting to wonder.
2/3 of the finale is all about Jax. And on top of that, okay, one criticism that I did see pertaining to all of this as well was, oh, they show Jax's backstory after he's dead. I don't like that. What else are you gonna do with a character like that?
Yeah, not to mention, especially especially within his backstory, they literally show why that's impossible.
Yeah.
Because the first person he did it with, he ended up pushing her away.
He's put it just has shown between Pomni, between other characters. That's just Jax's. That's Jax. Jax pushes everyone away. You either have to accept that or don't. So yeah, I don't want to go too crazy into it. I don't want to deep dive everything into it because I feel like we've talked a lot about it at the circus, but we haven't deep dived into it, and I think that's intentional.
Yeah.
Because, at that point I might as well just make an entire video essay on it.
Yeah.
We're kind of just talking about it from the perspective of more casual audiences. We went and saw it. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I do like how they thematically went over Jax's backstory.
Yeah.
It's not the first time I've seen a story does it. They really go into his psyche. They show his multiple different sides of his personality as different characters. They show a lot of how Jax feels about the other characters.
Yeah.
Through the innards of his mind.
Yeah.
And then eventually it goes into his deep backstory with some of the other characters that were hinted at.
Yeah.
And eventually he confronts Pomni. His mind fully lets go, and they kind of just build him a little sanctuary so his abstraction can rest in peace.
Yeah. Which makes me kind of wonder now. I think Kinger was almost close to extracting, and that's why he's the way he is until he shadows.
Oh, yeah. Because a lot of the things that make Kinger the way he is also true with abstractions, and we learn about that. Yeah, that was another thing I thought was wow, Kinger is basically just one bad day away from abstracting.
Yeah, and that's why shadows or,
darkness.
Yeah, darkness keeps people like that, or things like that calm. It just really shows that Kinger was very close.
Now, I'd probably say the last third of the episode really focuses on Kane. Spoilers! Kane's not actually dead. He just got sent to the void.
Which, my theory is, because part of that was the spoiler that, Kane was never dead.
Oh, yeah, that was also a part of the leaks, was Kane was never dead.
And I think the void, in general, because everything is essentially on a computer.
Mm-hmm.
And Kane was essentially, the best way to put it, sent to the delete folder.
Yeah, he was sent to the recycling bin.
Yeah.
Kane, I really liked Kane's section.
Yeah,
because it was very artsy. It was very much like someone is showing a visualization of a software doing things within a computer. And it's basically just Kane understanding things he was never able to understand.
Yeah.
Things about the various characters' backstories, gathering that information. Him coming to terms with the fact that he didn't do his job very well.
And the thing that was probably holding him back from doing it was, for all we know, Kane wasn't the prototype, it was Blue.
Well, no, that's not true.
Really?
We know that from the beginning of episode 8.
Oh, yeah.
Kane was the original, but he was too abstract.
Yeah.
Because, again, they even used that exact word, because Scratch. Scratch was one of the original programmers of Kane. His thought processes were too abstract. The other programmers didn't know what to do with Kane. Kane became too abstract. So they locked him away, built a second AI. Kane broke out, absorbed the other AI, and, Bob's your uncle.
That's true, yeah.
So, Kane's whole thing is him coming to terms with the fact that, he didn't do a good job. Yeah. He didn't do a good job. He didn't fulfill his purpose very well. He was blind with power, and he learns to let go of that other AI and let it do its own thing while he learns to be more independent and to coincide with the other characters.
Yeah.
It was very cute. It was very good. I liked seeing Kane kind of become a character.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's weird to say because Kane is he is a character.
Yeah,
he was his own character, but I feel like he really became a part of the group after learning the errors of his ways.
Yeah, and removed essentially his god complex, which was probably caused by Blue.
Yeah. And I really like that. I really like stories like that. Yeah. I like stories where characters take accountability because, speaking from personal experience, there's a lot of people who don't do that in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it should be congratulated and told in stories when people do take accountability, because, it's very good.
Yeah, because it's very clear with the ending segments that Kane slowly gains everyone's trust back.
Yeah, and he becomes a part of the group. He becomes another character.
Yeah.
And the thing I loved about this, Kane everyone building their trust with Kane meant Kane opening up his world to others and allowing their worlds to bleed into his. So there's multiple scenes where he gets to learn more about Gangle and Zubul and Ragatha and introduces parts of their world into his. Yeah. I loved that. Because really, at the end of the day, that's just what a good friendship is.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really cute way of telling that story.
Yeah.
I think going into all of the episodes of the Digital Circus just kind of made me realize this is just a really good show about just human nature.
Yeah.
It really is.
Human nature, general acceptance, bring people together.
It's just trauma does things to people, and you get to see, really, the Amazing Digital Circus is just understanding that people have trauma.
Yeah.
And you get to see the various ways people handle said trauma.
Yeah.
Which is just real life in a nutshell.
Yeah. Literally, it's like Ragatha and Jax are kind of complete opposites of each other.
Yeah, Ragatha learns to handle her trauma
by actually being a legitimately good person towards other people around her, while Jax just lives essentially in isolation.
Yeah, and I think that really needs to be talked about, because I feel like that in turn really just amplifies the discourse around this show.
Yeah.
I really think so.
I agree.
Because, like, you can enjoy a character all you want, but completely disregarding how that character does certain things based off of things that happen to them, I don't know, that's kind of, I mean, and I only say that from personal experience. I've talked about this with friends, but, like, I have real life examples of people who are just like Jax. And I have real life examples of people who openly defend these people who are like Jax. And the Amazing Digital Circus is great visual example of just because someone went through trauma doesn't mean you can justify their actions.
Yeah. I agree.
One thing I really liked about the finale is even Jax comes to terms with that.
Yeah. He completely acknowledges that he's not the joke character. He's just not a good person.
He's just an asshole.
Yeah, he literally says it. He's an asshole. He's a jerk.
Yeah, and again, you can't justify that.
Yeah.
So, one thing I did like about the finale is there's a line where Pomni is consoling Jax right before he fully leaves, and he just flat out, even to the end, he says, "I hate you. I've always hated you because you won't leave me alone." So, like, even in his dying breath, he's telling the world how much he hates them. And again, you can't feel bad for someone like that.
Yeah, you really can't.
You just can't. And if you continue to, you're gonna go insane yourself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, long story short, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I thought the finale was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I bought a $100 Jax figure because at the end they gave like a QR code that showed like finale exclusive merch.
Yeah.
I think it's early access. So I think those who got to see it in theaters got early access to the merch.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
possibly.
like merch. I don't know. I'll have to look back on the link, but I don't think it's movie theater exclusive merch. I think there is some merch that was movie theater exclusive. Like, I know there was like I guess I shouldn't say what the merch was, but I think there is some movie theater exclusive merch. But at the end, they gave a QR code that was like, here's early access to finale merch. And
yeah,
I bought a figure. So
it looks pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. Listen, you can see in the background, I am a sucker for plastic figurines. So
yeah. Just I
am a sucker for plastic figurines. Some people like plushies. I like plastic. So if you give me a cool statue and I can afford it, I will get it. So I got the really cool Jack statue. Anywho, what you got for the rest of the day?
Not much. I'm gonna do VR later tonight.
I am gonna stream because I'm doing that again.
Yeah. She's hurting herself, guys. Help.
No, it's I'm doing collection clearing, so I think I have it scheduled for 3. So I got like 45 minutes to set up, which is great because it is hot in here. So I need to chill the room.
Yeah, with your swamper.
Yeah.
Swampy.
So we're gonna get that. I think this is gonna be well. Now I'll probably talk a little bit about collection clearing. So
yeah.
See you guys in a few hours.
Yeah.